Welterweight champ Jaron Boots Ennis, and over to the floor for questions for myself, Boots, and of course Bozy as well. Yo, thank you.
Hey, what's up, Boots? This is Najee from Cigar Talk. I know in the ring questions you said immediately that you were thinking about going to 154. You weren't sure about the pop. Can you talk about that a little more? Was it just the punching power? Was it you making weight? Can you talk about just the idea of moving to 54?
I felt good, but like I said, I'm getting older. I'm 27, 28 next year, so we'll see. We're gonna talk to the team and see what we're gonna do. I made weight easy. I was comfortable, but we'll see.
Hey, Jaron, during the fight, it seemed like the referee was letting a lot more things go tonight. Did you feel like that there's too much holding going on? And Eddie, this is pressure on one of my colleagues in Atlantic City. Do you see a potential bringing a Matchroom card to Atlantic City?
Yeah, I'm about to say, after I dropped him, I feel like he was holding ever since then. That's on me, though. I got to, take a half a step back and start ripping them shots and use some more angles. Just listen a little more, My dad was saying everything right, and I just wasn't doing it,
Yeah, for me, Atlantic City, obviously, a historic city for boxing, some great venues there. We love it here, to be honest with you. We've been here twice in 4 or 5 months. Huge crowds both times. Yeah, love to return to Atlantic City at some point.
First, a question for Boots and then another for you, Eddie. Boots, compare and contrast the first fight to this fight tonight. And Eddie, we just saw him do definitely over 10,000, I don't know the official numbers, against a fighter that no one was calling for him to fight other than the IBF. Compare that against what you'd expect Mario Barrios or another titleist in this division to do against that level of opponent. I mean, that does speak to his star power in the city, does it not?
Yeah, I mean, last time was obviously the return of big-time boxing in Philadelphia, and tonight, like you said, we put a great card together. It was a great atmosphere. We know that unifications do great numbers here in the city, but at the same time, we've got to look at the options around. I mean, there's only 2 options: a unification or a big fight at 154. That's it.
What's more reasonable, do you think, Norman Jr. or Mario Barrios?
No, I think that we've got Stanionis is in a mandatory against Gearsov, our guy. BBC have already messaged me saying, look, could we step aside Gearsov and go straight into Stanionis? They're going to look at that performance and fancy their chances. Oscar De La Hoya's been tweeting, we're ready, VERGIL Ortiz against Boots. I like that. But what they don't understand is when Boots is fighting those guys, it's all about trying to make it entertaining. The first fight was a stinker. I actually thought that was a good fight tonight. And by the way, I also think that guy beats most 147 pounders. I think he's a good fighter. But Boots is just trying to make it exciting, trying to get him out of there. He doesn't really have a lot of regard for what's coming back. He's getting hit too much because he's kind of not really even motivated. And against Barrios, against Stanionis, against Norman, it's going to be different. And against Ortiz, it's going to be different. And the performance has got to be different. Because he knows, and Bozy knows, that performance might not be good enough to beat one of those guys. But it will be a different performance from Boots against one of those guys. Don't worry about that. But now we've got a really big decision to make. I never like giving up world titles. But sometimes the time is right. And, we may get a substantial offer to fight VERGIL Ortiz in Saudi Arabia. And then from there, it's on Jaron and Bozy. That's it. And he'll get my advice, but these are the guys that will make the decision. But for me, I think it's only unification or Ortiz. That's it.
For Boots, what do you think of that February 22nd fight against Ortiz?
Huh?
What do you think of that February 22nd fight against Ortiz?
Like I always say, I want to fight the best. I don't try to fight easy, bottom tier guys. When you fight the best, you're gonna be better.
Eddie, what you said you would have advice for him. What is your advice to take much?
It depends on the financial package. Depends on what we want to do long term. Depends if we don't want to return to 147. The reason that we fought Chukhadzhian tonight was because Boots had a desire to capture the other championships at 147. So we've got to review that position. We've got to look at the option against VERGIL Ortiz. We've got to look at the financial package for that fight as well. Because as well, don't forget, you know, a win over someone like Virgil Ortiz on a Riyadh season card is going to take his profile to another level. So it's going to be very tempting. And by the way, it's a brilliant fight. A brilliant fight. I mean, Boots against Virgil Ortiz is one of the best fights out there to be made. Not just in the division, but in the boxing. Two tremendous young fighters.